Hey guys, welcome back to the Full Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. News broke. Sherrone Moore has been hired as the 21st head coach at Michigan. Only 2 days after Jim Harbaugh left for San Diego, the Michigan Wolverines have their new head coach. And by all indications, this was the most likely choice and probably the best choice. And just for a few reasons, I'll just give you my thoughts why Sherrone Moore is the best guy for the job at the moment. One, he seemed to be a coach in waiting. He was the one who coached Michigan for the 3-game stretch. Penn State, at Maryland, Ohio State. He was the one coaching it. And so that just showed a good pecking order of where the coaching staff was, who was like second in charge. It was a stupendous audition for Sherrone Moore, and he passed it with flying colors, right? The pressure of not only playing those tough games and then playing them on the road, and maybe the biggest and last huge game of Michigan Ohio State with the whole cloud over it of the sign stealing gate and everything like that. So he was able to guide Michigan through that situation and got the victories. So he's obviously got he was next in line, is what I'll say. Also, I think he's one of the best recruiters Michigan has. He's only 37, I believe. And he really seems to have a good rapport with these guys, the younger generation. And some of the recruits he just was able to land. I think, Blake Corum and, I'm sorry, so, now I'm thinking of someone else, sorry. But that was Jay Harbaugh. I was reading that article. I apologize. I go back on that. But he recruited some really good talent. And, especially on the offensive line as the OC and the O-line coach, too, for in the past couple years. And so he just likes... The biggest reason to me why he's a great and perfect fit for Michigan is you're going to have to just keep this program together, right? Now, a lot of people went to the pros, and the people that stayed, I think, are going to stay with Sherrone Moore, too. They're not going to suddenly bolt to, the portal and, try to get out of here. So you keep Moore. Hopefully you can keep a lot of the staff and you keep the ball rolling. I was reading some comparisons that maybe Sherrone Moore would be like David Shaw at Stanford. Obviously Jim Harbaugh left Stanford. He had, Andrew Luck, who took them to glory, right? Kind of similar. Here we had, Harbaugh had JJ, which took Michigan to glory, right, to win the national championship. And then Jim Harbaugh went to the San Francisco 49ers, and now he's leaving again. And the heir apparent, David Shaw, he kept the program going for, I think, 5-6 good years, and then the wheels kind of fell off. So you're just hoping that Michigan can keep the wheels going, go forward, progress, don't slide back. And I think if you keep Sherrone Moore, you do that. A second reason you kind of have to keep Sherrone Moore, in a way, because the coaching carousel has really spun its course. When Nick Saban left, the guys that Michigan might have gone for, Jed Fish and like DeBoer, those guys decided to move. They're not, or stay put. They're not going to remove, right? So the whole coaching cycle, at least head coaches, has kind of stopped. Now recruits, assistant coaches, they might flip-flop around, and that's going to happen too, especially if Jim Harbaugh, takes a couple guys with him, rumored, of course, being Jay Harbaugh, and maybe he's going to take Jesse Minter with him. But you got to have that solidity in your coaching staff. And you're not going to get a big-name coach to come in and take over, Michigan at this point. Now, if Sherrone Moore has a couple mediocre years, 2-3 years, and things aren't going right, then you move on from them. I have to say, it is kind of hard to go from a legend to the next person up. It's not very easy. I think it's going to be hard for whoever, in Alabama. It's been kind of hard in Notre Dame. I mean, I know Ryan Day took over for Urban Meyer. Everything was going great until recently. So, some success, some not. Obviously, Bob Stoops and Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma as well. So it just brings into a question, is Sherrone Moore going to be able to sustain this level? And, again, Jim Harbaugh laid the foundation. There are excellent coaches, assistant coaches on the Michigan staff. Who is Sherrone Moore going to be able to keep? Another good... I would love it if Michigan would take the money they were going to pay Jim Harbaugh, supposedly $12 million a year, something like that, and offer Jesse Minter and, Mike Hart and some of these other guys big money, have them be the highest paid coordinators in college, right? So that they stay, so they want to stay. Like, okay, I'll stay at Michigan. I can get paid well here and keep the progress going. Don't slide back. I think if you would have moved on from Sherrone Moore, you were going to slide back at this point. It's like almost February. Another factor now, you got your recruits. They know who's going to be there. They've been talking to Sherrone Moore. He's been out recruiting while Jim Harbaugh's been doing this whole NFL thing. And so, boom, let's have a big recruiting visit next week. Maybe this week, probably not so much this week now, but next week. I think it's the last week of this period where they can have juniors out. Let's go out and have a big, huge recruiting weekend. Get everyone in there. Hey, guys, that's just my thoughts. I think Michigan did what they had to do, get Sherrone Moore in there, and I hope they made the right choice. If you have any comments, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond as I'm able to. As always, thanks for watching, and go Blue!